drills it from the near wing. Oh, a big-time shot.
With our coverage of the game starting at 6 with Buck Shoot-Around on your home for the Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 10 o'clock and 58 degrees. Mostly sunny and breezy today. Chance of showers and storms this afternoon. High of 70 at the lake, 73 inland. Tonight's showers and storms turning cold and blustery, switching over to snow with our low dropping to 20 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Vince Vitrano. The chance for showers and storms brings with it the potential that some of those storms could be strong to even severe. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson says conditions could allow for those storms to develop by early to mid-afternoon.
We're going to be watching for any initiation. Do one or two storms tap into that afternoon heat a little bit early? Not everyone's going to see rain today, and not everyone's going to hear thunder and see lightning. But for those that do, one or two of those storms could contain some high winds and even the potential for some hail.
The complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming your way in just 5 minutes. Police plan to continue leading a search today for a missing toddler in Manitowoc County. It is 1 week this morning since 3-year-old Elijah Few was reported missing by a man now charged with child neglect. Jesse Vang is in a relationship with the little boy's mother, Katrina Bauer. She is also charged in the case now. According to authorities, Bauer sent her son to stay with Vang to face discipline, including cold showers and standing in a corner for hours. Folks in the Two Rivers community were in court as Bauer and Vang went through Monday.
The community needs to know that everybody needs to come together to help find him and to hopefully bring him home one way or another.
And that woman speaking with NBC 26 News, Bauer and Vang are due back in court March 7th. Voters in Michigan at the polls today, though more than 1 million votes were already cast early ahead of today's primary election. Polls close at 7 p.m. our time tonight.
Donald Trump has barely campaigned here, but he's expected to once again cruise to victory over his final opponent, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Haley vowing to stay in through Super Tuesday, arguing that nearly half of Republican primary voters are against Trump.
That's ABC's Mary Bruce reporting in Dearborn, Michigan this morning. Some movement on ceasefire and prisoner swap negotiations in the Middle East.
Israel this morning signaling a major shift, saying it might be willing to free Palestinians convicted of serious terrorist offenses in return for the release of female Israeli soldiers being held in Gaza. That's according to a senior Israeli official.
ABC News foreign correspondent Tom Sophie Burridge reporting from Israel this morning, also looking at the potential for a ceasefire as part of this prisoner swap deal.
President Biden predicting a ceasefire in Gaza within the next 6 days, saying he's been told a deal is close but not done yet. This morning, though, an Israeli official telling us that prediction from President Biden took Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu by surprise.
Back here at home, Milwaukee Public Museum this morning offering a look at the exhausting process of cataloging and moving its entire collection. The museum expected to open in its new building at 6th and McKinley in early 2027. Right now, curators are recording information about and packing objects, some of which will be held in off-site storage before moving into the new space, an effort expected to take years. Time for news about your money. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average right now down about 124 points. It's at 38,945. The S&P 500 at 5070. That's up less than half a point. And the NASDAQ at 16,012. That is up about 37 points. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Floor Coverings International. They're doing the flooring in my house, and it is awesome. You get a rave-worthy experience with Floor Coverings International, the stars of flooring. Now enjoy special financing and save hundreds off on new floors during FCI's Save with the Stars event. Enjoy FCI's all-star service, including the mobile flooring showroom. I love that. Thousands of options, down to the penny quotes, and professional installation by one local team for your entire project. Offer Offer ends 11/30/23, so schedule your in-home consultation today at fcipromo.com. Offer good at participating locations.
Team up with the Brewers for an epic company event this season. With the Brewers Group Outing, you can trade weekday meetings for a fun-filled day at American Family Field, featuring options like tailgate spaces, all-inclusive areas, seating blocks, and much more. Plus, Brewers ticket representatives will make planning your event simple, as they'll be your personal concierge while booking your outing. Start planning your company outing today at brewers.com/groups.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update. Brewers play this afternoon. We've got the Angels in spring training. No broadcast of the game today. The Crew fell to the Cincinnati Reds Monday afternoon, 8-3 the final. Now, tomorrow afternoon, the Crew hosts the Cubs and former manager Craig Counsell at American Family Fields of Phoenix. That'll be a 2 p.m. broadcast time, 2:10 first pitch on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. Bucks back home tonight. Charlotte Hornets in town. Bucks shoot around at 6 p.m., 6:30 pregame and a 7 p.m. tip at Fiserv Forum. And the Badgers at Indiana with a 6 o'clock start tonight. Taking a look at the roads, WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic update. Eastbound I-94, don't know why, just past State Fair Park. Seeing things really slowing down as you head into the stadium interchange. I don't see a crash or major incident, so just very slow through that stretch right now. Things begin to loosen up again just before you hit downtown. Other travel times running normal.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny, breezy today. Chance of showers and storms this afternoon. High of 70 at the lake, 73 inland. Showers and storms and turning cold tonight. Switching over to snow as our low dips to 20 degrees. Wednesday, chance of early snow, blustery, gradual clearing, high of just 28, wind chills in the teens and 20s. Thursday, mostly sunny and breezy, high 42. Friday's high 48 under partly cloudy skies and warming back up for the weekend. Saturday, mostly sunny and a high of 57 degrees. Madison at 55, 47 in Green Bay, 57 in Waukesha, and in Milwaukee, 58 degrees. I'm Vince Vitrano, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. It's time for The Upswing on WTMJ, showcasing businesses, entrepreneurs, and community leaders throughout the great state of Wisconsin. Here's your host, Jeff Sherman.
'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Hello and welcome to The Upswing. It's Tuesday. How does your car look? Today is prime car wash weather day, isn't it? Just absolutely beautiful and perfect outside. And, winter in Wisconsin, it's been a little mild, which I totally understand. It's tough on businesses, dependent on snow for sure. But it's kind of a joy if you're saving on shoveling and salt costs, right? That's that rub of the mild winter. But the wind, kind of the occasional snow, the snow that's coming later today, kind of gets you all that winter dirt. And it means that your car is probably full of grime and kind of losing its shine. I pulled into the Avenue today, kind of a short, beautiful drive along the lake for me to get here. And usually my car is that kind of this shining dark blue, and now it's kind of all gray and like full of those white specks that you get from the salt. But you can ask my wife. I'm a bit of a, I don't know, freak is the wrong word, but I'm really passionate about keeping my car clean. And I love car washes, and they kind of fascinate me to the extent that maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I looked into buying a franchise business. And Mr. Clean Car Wash, actually, it's owned by Procter & Gamble. And they also own all the Tide dry cleaners. There's a couple of those in Metro Milwaukee. So there's some really interesting synergy between the two. You know, you clean your car, you clean your clothes. There's a lot of data sharing there. It was a pretty interesting proposition for sure. The initial investment, though, looking into buying a national or being a part of a national franchise chain, $2.4 million to $3.2 million, along with a franchise fee of $35,000. And the company charges a 6% royalty and a 5% advertising fee on that. So it wasn't exactly for me at all, but it was interesting to explore and kind of get the cost structure of what it takes to build a car wash business. Obviously, in our state, there's a ton of locals out there, and nationally, that truly used to be the case, but now it's really become a private equity game with firms kind of gobbling up all these car wash players on a national level. Just give you a little bit of context until we get into our guest here. In 2016, only 2 of the top 10 car wash chains, in terms of number of sites across the country, were owned or backed by private equity. Today, all 10 are. So I think kind of mergers of all these super car wash chains are going to continue to happen. I don't know. There really isn't like a Walmart of car washes, but it's probably coming. So it's something to definitely keep an eye on. And I'll be interested to ask our next guest this. You know, with more and more car wash competition in a market, does that pie expand for everyone? Because for me, like, convenience drives everything. So if there's more car washes, I tend to get my car washed more. I don't know if that's exactly the case, but we're going to ask that question and a whole lot more coming up next. So another thing that is pretty interesting when you think about the car wash space, the margins are pretty good for express car washes, and now they're all adding these monthly passes on a national level. Do you do this? Like, instead of paying $7.99 for the car wash, I can do $13.99 and get unlimited all month. It's free. It's great. I don't know. For me, it just doesn't make sense because I don't end up using it, but maybe that's something that you like to do. So Tidal Wave Auto Spa is one of the nation's fastest growing express car wash companies, actually the 5th largest in the country. And they just celebrated a couple openings last week, including their very first Wisconsin store in Burlington, Wisconsin. So the chains are coming on a car wash level on this beautiful Wisconsin day where you're all going to get out and get your cars washed. I thought it'd be interesting to explore all things car wash on a local level. So our guest is Mazen Muna of Metro Hand Car Wash in detail. He's going to provide his insight, kind of talk about his unique relationship with one of our professional sports teams. He also owns a restaurant on Brady Street, so there's some interesting car things we want to explore there. All this and a whole lot more coming up on The Upswing. This is WTMJ.
Our new lineup on WTMJ is here. Starting at 5 a.m., the Midwest Farm Report with Pam Yonke. From 6 to 9 is Wisconsin's Morning News with Vince Petrano and Eric Bilstad. Starting at 9, the Political Power Hour with Steve Scafidi. At 10, catch The Upswing with Jeff Sherman. From 11 to 1, Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Metzik and Jessica Ty. From 1 to 3, catch Spanning the State with Kristen Bry. At 3, Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John McCure and Julia Fellow. At 6, What's on Tap with Sandy Max. And at 7, WTMJ at Night with Brian Noonan. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic and weather, on air, online, and on demand. Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, clicked on the blue button. One of our senior loan consultants, Brad, sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day, and then upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. They made a couple offers without success, and then Brad told them about AccuNet's new property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval included that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with a local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win and save money, too. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Imagine, if you will, a wonderland of vehicles. An entire convention center filled with things you love to drive. It's the Milwaukee Auto Show at the Baird Center downtown, February 24th through March 3rd. Immerse yourself in the latest new cars and trucks. Fun things to do every day. This year, come try your hand at the Golf Simulator. It'll tell you how to improve your game. Play a round of mini golf with the kids on tricky trails. Or put on a VR headset and paint a car. See website for dates and times of all features. The Milwaukee Auto Show. Save big on tickets. Go to autoshowmilwaukee.com.
You knew that bumper music was coming. Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. A beautiful day here in downtown Milwaukee and across the state of Wisconsin. Our guest today, and again, I'm doing a lot of entrepreneurial stories to begin the Upswing because I really feel like these are the people that are moving our state forward each and every day, building something from nothing, growing it, expanding it, hiring employees, and have just this unique challenge of how do you grow when things contract, how do you expand, and how do you look at the business world? Mazen Muna is the owner of Metro Hand Car Wash and Detail. He's also the owner of the Dog House, a local favorite on Milwaukee's Brady Street. Welcome, Mazen. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. So give us your story. I want to know kind of who you are, how you got to Milwaukee, and then we'll talk a little bit about your restaurant on Brady Street to open our conversation.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me.
Of course.
It's been a couple of decades since we've known each other, and it's always a pleasure.
Yes, great.
Born and raised in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Graduated from UWM with finance and marketing as majors.
Nice.
I spent 5 or 6 years in the car rental world while I was in school.
Okay.
Rented out cars at the airport and managed the fleet there.
Okay.
Then I worked for American Express Corporate Card Services for a couple of years, and I decided that the corporate world was not for me. So I found a little spot on Brady Street, about 300 square feet, and I rented it before I knew what I wanted to do with it. And then I designed the business model based on the need. So opened up a Chicago-style hot dog stand right on Brady Street, open till 3 in the morning, and people were leaving the bars, lunchtime, dinner time, and this year we will be 19 years old.
Yeah, so you're coming up on 20 years on Brady Street for the Dog House. What, when you're concepting a local restaurant and looking for the prime location, kind of what goes into that site selection process?
Well, I think you have to look at areas that have traffic. You really, if you're on an island and away from people, you really have to have something that people are willing to travel to. But a hot dog, for example, is something that is maybe people aren't looking for that at the moment, but they pass by and they say, you know what, let me grab a hot dog on the way home. So it's kind of an impulse buy in some way different than fine dining, for example.
Right. Yeah. So when you're opening up, how do you explore finding the right product mix? I mean, you landed on, what kind of hot dogs you serve. Talk about that process for us, please.
Well, today's dining scene is a lot different than what it was 20 years ago. I think people are really, the whole vegan and vegetarian thing is a lot more prominent now than it was then. So for the product mix, I mean, after opening about 6 months, we introduced a veggie hot dog because it was demanded.
Right.
And that actually sells more now than our Polishes, our brats, and our Italian sausages combined.
Wow, that's amazing. When did that turn? Just in the last couple of years, or?
Yeah, I would say within the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
That product has gone off the charts.
Oh, okay. So how do you keep the quality up, and what kind of hiring challenges have you had along the way? Is it a constant challenge to keep good people, or Is it kind of something you built into the culture that it just comes naturally?
Well, I mean, my restaurant is so small that it only takes 2 people to operate it.
Right.
You have one cashier and one person assembling the food.
Okay.
And if they get backed up, then the cashier goes, washes their hands, jumps on the line, and helps.
Yeah.
So the people that I have been with me for, a long, long time, 14 years, 6 years. And it's only a few people that I have running the place.
Okay.
Before COVID, when there were many locations, hiring was difficult. And I think, the people that you hire for this type of job, it's a stepping stone. So they work for a while and they find the next best thing and they continue moving.
Okay. Well, I want to talk, you're right at the end of Brady Street, a street that's had some, really good growth as a bar and restaurant destination street. So I want to talk when we come back after the break, a little bit about your thoughts about closing the street to pedestrian traffic and what impact that could have on your business, and just kind of get your general thoughts on kind of the pros and cons of that. And then we'll kind of transition into your car wash business and talk a whole lot about that and much, much more, all coming up next on The Upswing.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Hi there. I was calling to report a traffic accident for your traffic reporter, Debbie Lazaga.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, at the hallmazda.com traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
Hi, Debbie. It's Michael. Eastbound 894, and there's a fender bender, and these guys are blocking the right lane.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Our U.S.-based restoration specialists are experts dedicated to helping solve your identity theft issues, and all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. So we'll reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Don't let someone else enjoy your refund. Save up to 25% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You've heard about the thousands of patients finally getting relief from chronic joint pain thanks to QC Kinetics non-invasive treatments. And here's one who was determined to avoid surgery. Meet Vicky.
The orthopedic surgeon said, well, you're going to need knee replacement sooner rather than later. I kept hearing commercials about QC Kinetics and thought, well, I'm going to check them out first.
QC Kinetics has treated over 20,000 patients like Vicky around the country. People who were told they needed surgery but chose a more natural, less invasive approach that uses regenerative treatments to help heal and restore painful joints with no downtime.
If QC Kinetics had not been what I expected, I would have gone through with the surgery, but I got so much relief, am now pretty much pain-free that I don't have to have the surgery.
Before going under the knife, you need to check out QC Kinetics. The consultation is free. Call today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back. Welcome back to The Upswing. We've had a few texts on the Old National Bank talking text line. It's 855-616-1620. Old National Bank. Get old. A couple people have said, well, why get my car washed today? It's beautiful. It's going to snow. Hey, maybe we can ask our guests that. I always like to make sure the car is clean inside and out, no matter what's going to happen with the weather. Weather's going to change. Keep the car clean. Keep it vibrant. So a little bit more about cars, Mason. Your restaurant is on Brady Street, a street that has explored closing traffic to cars and to make it pedestrian only. What are your thoughts as a business owner on that?
Well, I always thought that Milwaukee needed a street that's similar to State Street in Madison, for example. And I think it could be a great change for the area, make it more vibrant and make it walkable and hopefully safer. But I do believe that there are challenges that may happen as well. There's a lot of people that live in the neighborhood and all the side streets. You know, how do you get access to those? Do you have to now go around the block and go through the backside? Another challenge that I see is in the summer months, it could essentially be like a street festival every day where there's masses of people walking all over. And, I really don't know, I guess, the end result, but I do believe there's positives and negatives from it. And I think, the experts would be the ones to make that decision.
Yeah. Have you heard any updates from the Business Improvement District over there in terms of timeframes or timelines?
No. The last thing that I know that they were talking about doing was painting lines in the street and adding planters and things like that to slow down cars. But as of now, I don't think anything has happened. I think it's all in research mode right now.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously, the city is looking at a lot of ways to calm traffic and do placemaking to make, streets more vibrant and walkable and safe for cars and pedestrians. So I think that's going to continue to happen on Brady Street as well. So good luck monitoring that process, and we'll keep an eye on it here for sure. So 8 million cars get washed each and every day in our country. In 2009, you decide to open a car wash in Metro Milwaukee. Same question that I asked you about a restaurant. How do you go about site selection and planning? And did you explore the franchise route, or did you know based upon your experience that, hey, I'm going to do this on my own as an entrepreneur?
Well, going back to the car rental days when I managed a fleet of 1,500 cars at the airport, cleaning them was part of what we did for rental cars for customers who were picking them up. And the car wash that I took over in 2009 was actually a car wash beforehand. But when it came up for sale, I decided that it would be a good fit because, once again, it was a need in that area. A lot of people in downtown live in apartments where they don't have a driveway to wash their cars, or this is pre-monthly subscriptions on the other car washes.
Yeah.
But as I said, it was a car wash beforehand. We just took it over and improved it.
Okay, great. So how has the business evolved since you opened? I mean, pricing and policies. It's obviously a very hands-on, service-oriented business. And how has that changed and evolved in your time of ownership?
Well, I think no matter what, when you open a business, you have to start building trust with the community. And it's gotten busier every year. Year after year, we're, somewhere around 20% above the year before. At least last year it was that. And it gets busier. You have to hire more people. And staffing now, as you very well know, is more expensive than what it was before. So our prices have not changed significantly. We're talking a couple of bucks difference for all of our services. I've kept the prices low because I like to see people often.
Right.
And, at the end of the day, everything else is so expensive that car wash, I didn't want car washing to become a luxury because it is a need to protect the vehicle. So we kept prices where they were, 10 years ago. They're still the same.
Yeah. So you do full service. Like what's the hardest part of the job? Do you have people come in with like smashed windows and suddenly you got to clean up the whole thing? Or is the biggest challenge you got the car seats in the back and you got to take extra time and this job is going to take you 3 hours? Kind of walk us through the challenge set of the day-to-day.
Well, every car that comes in has its own issues. Some cars come in and they're very clean, and other cars come in and they're just destroyed. And because it's an assembly line, if you do get a car that needs excessive work, it slows down the line. There are oftentimes, I guess one of the hardest things with cars is when people spill food in their car or milk and it spoils. Getting the smell out is very difficult. We have to take seats out. We have to do all kinds of things, run an ozone machine, steam extract the interior. There's different methods and different chemicals for what we do.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about the new car smell and how you inject that and kind of what you use for products and kind of what that whole thing looks like in terms of the customer experience. So when we come back, Mazen Muna, the owner of Metro Car Wash and the Doghouse on Brady Street, is going to continue a conversation, talk about innovations in the car wash space. He's going to talk about his relationship with the Milwaukee Bucks and how he services high-end vehicles and what the opportunities and challenges are there. And we'll talk a little bit about his family life and how he manages it all through the entrepreneurial world. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:30. ABC News and local headlines are coming up next.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A group of Democratic senators led by Tammy Duckworth and Patty Murray demanding a vote on their bill to federally protect in vitro fertilization.
I know I'm not alone when I struggle to understand how politicians who support this kind of policy can possibly call themselves pro-life.
Senator Duckworth says a bill is needed in the wake of the Alabama Supreme Court ruling that says frozen embryos should be considered children. This hour, the top 4 congressional leaders are at the White House for discussions with President Biden about keeping the government open past this weekend if there is no deal in place to avert a partial government shutdown by Friday. Lunch hour could get more expensive soon. Wendy's says it's experimenting with the idea of having the prices on its menu fluctuate throughout the day based on demand. It's sort of like the prices surge and Uber and Lyft implement higher charges during rush hour. And Macy's is planning to close 150 stores over the next 3 years, it says. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:31 from the WTMJ Breaking News Center. I'm Vince Vitrano. Happening right now, the Milwaukee Common Council in session at City Hall. Within the hour, just passed an amended service agreement with private ambulance companies. They've changed some standard protocol following a woman's death at a bus stop earlier this year after she called 911. New rules would require a foot search, among other things, for crews called to the scene during bad weather. Police plan to continue leading a search today for a missing toddler in Manitowoc County. It's a week now this morning since 3-year-old Elijah Vu was reported missing by a man who is now charged with child neglect in the case. Jesse Vang is in a relationship with the little boy's mother, Katrina Bauer, who is also charged. Milwaukee Public Museum this morning offering a look at the exhaustive process of cataloging and moving its entire collection. The museum expected to open its new building at 6th and McKinley in early 2027. Right now, curators are recording information about and packing objects, some of which will be held in off-site storage before moving to the new space. The effort expected to take years. New traffic in a moment. First, news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Look at your current numbers. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down nearly 150 points. It's at 38,920. The S&P 500 at 5067. That's off a couple of points. And the NASDAQ at 16,000 even. That is up 24 points on the day. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. 2 slow spots westbound I-94. Not incident related. No crash to report. Traffic just moving slowly as you approach Gerke's Corners in Waukesha. Run slow until you get to about Calhoun Road. And then slow again just past the Stadium Interchange as you approach downtown on the brakes to 27th Street. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny, breezy today with a chance of showers and storms. Late in the afternoon with a high of 70 at the lake, 73 inland. Showers and storms turning cold and blustery. That'll be changing over to snow through the early morning hours of Wednesday with a low down to 20. Wind chills in the teens and 20s as we hit a high of just 28 degrees on Wednesday. Thursday's high 42 under mostly sunny skies. Friday partly cloudy and a high of 48. Warming back up for the weekend. Saturday high of 57 under mostly sunny skies. Right now in Madison, 58. Green Bay, 51. 60 degrees in Waukesha, and in Milwaukee, 61. I'm Vince Vitrano, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:34.
Sharks. Most people see them as a threat, but we see a potential cure. At UW Health Carbone Cancer Center, we're the only team in the world researching whether antibodies from sharks can be used to fight cancer. A discovery that would revolutionize the future of cancer care, turning possibilities into remarkable realities. So one day, instead of what if, we can ask what's next. UW Health Carbone Cancer Center. Remarkable.
It's time to say aloha to paradise. Picture powder soft sand, endless turquoise waters, and a frosty cocktail by a beach lounger. Fox World Travel is proud to partner with Apple Vacations to offer exclusive deals that will take you to your dream getaway. With great deals to Hawaii, Fiji, St. Lucia, or the best all-inclusive resorts in Mexico and the Caribbean, our travel experts take the hassle out of traveling to paradise. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO to speak with our vacation travel experts today.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Is your IRS tax debt making you feel anxious? The professionals at Allies Tax Relief are ready to negotiate your fresh start. Call them now at 800-230-5174.
We're back. We're talking car washes. We're talking restaurants, and we're talking balancing family and entrepreneurship with Mazen Muna. Mazen is the owner of Metro Car Wash just off of downtown Milwaukee on Van Buren. Also runs the Doghouse restaurant on Milwaukee's Brady Street. So, Mazen, what are the kind of the unique challenges of detailing higher end luxury vehicles? Like, do you have to know the insides and outs kind of better than the driver to really understand kind of all the nooks and crannies? Because these things can be impossible to keep clean, right?
Right. I mean, we treat every vehicle as if it's a high-end vehicle. The process is the same for all vehicles, but some vehicles are just a little bit more, have a little bit more sensitive paint when it comes to polishing. Some vehicles, carpeting is much more dense than other vehicles, so it takes longer to dry them when you steam extract them. So every vehicle has its own recipe.
Okay. So what is, you have a partnership with the Milwaukee Bucks, and you talked a lot about kind of the trust in your business and the one-on-one relationships. Give us the pathway to that partnership.
So we've been detailing the cars for the Milwaukee Bucks for the last 3 years. When they have practice, we go to the practice facility and clean the cars at the facility for the players.
Okay.
And some of the staff as well.
Nice. Well, I know, you can't talk about specific player cars, Hippocratic oath, right? There's unique complexities that come with the high-end vehicles. So is this like a during practice, like the cars are there and you're in the practice facility and you and your team take care of the needs of the players?
Yes. They let us know when they're practicing and when they want us there, and then we go and we take care of it and, take care of their vehicles while they're practicing.
Okay. So any kind of super cool features that you've seen on any of the cars?
I mean, all the cars are pretty nice and cool features. I would say they're just, new, modern luxury vehicles.
Right. Okay. How do you handle the water and cleaning products at the practice facility? Is that kind of all drained right there? Are there unique kind of environmental challenges, or like, do you bring everything in, or is it all custom for you in the garage?
We have lockers there where we keep our equipment and our hoses and our cleaning supplies, and the facility has a floor drain right next to the wash bay where we take care of the cars. So we'll do one at a time, and then we'll move it, dry it, park it back in its appropriate spot.
Okay. All right. So if I'm doing my car at home and I want to get that kind of that new car smell, where does that come from? And give me the background in terms, if I'm going to buy that somewhere, what advice do you have for me to maintain that new car smell in my car?
Well, new car smell, there's been studies, and new car smell is nothing more than the smell of the manufacturing process of the vehicle, where it's new plastic, it's glue, it's rubber,
okay,
it's wires, it's, all of that combined gives you a new car smell. But the imitated version is, there's many different companies that make air fresheners for vehicles. They have the plugins for your vents, they have the spray that you just put on your carpet, then there's the old-fashioned air fresheners that you hang from your mirror or put underneath your seat. So it's a preference in all reality.
Yeah. Okay. So I often see your son and your family kind of helping you out, working with you day to day at the facility. I want to talk a little bit more when we come back from the break, how you manage the challenges of family life, entrepreneurship, and getting it done each and every day. We'll be back with Mazen Muna, owner of Metro Car Wash and the Doghouse. We'll talk about family, entrepreneurship, and more next on The Upswing.
So there are some things all real estate agents do, and there are certain things some agents do. Most of us are full service. Some charge 6% commission for full service. We charge 3.9%. But one person's full service isn't exactly equal to the others. And it's important that you know there is a difference. You're going to want an agent who is reliable, responsive, that feels like they're working for you to live up to all the expectations you have when hiring a full-service agent. You'll find that at Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty. When it comes to getting the peak price for your home sale, it's all a matter of eyeballs. The more people we get your home listing in front of, the more opportunities arise. At Benefit Realty, we are ultra confident in promising you maximum exposure to your listing. We want to sell it fast and for as much as we can for you. That way, all sides win. And I have to believe that's why we've achieved the strong growth that we have. Maximum exposure means maximum home sale value. Benefit-realty.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, clicked on the blue button. One of our senior loan consultants, Brad, sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day, and then upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. They made a couple offers without success, and then Brad told them about AccuNet's new property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval included that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with a local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win and save money, too. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
Right now, the prices of diamonds are probably the lowest we'll see in our lifetime.
Diamond prices are low, low, low. Here's why.
It was hard to meet new people during COVID.
When a person meets their soulmate, they usually get engaged about 39 months later.
People started dating again only about 36 months ago.
Most of the people who got engaged during COVID
or immediately after COVID
were already in a relationship before the COVID lockdown began.
The Wall Street Journal even published a story about all of this.
Low sales of engagement rings created a worldwide oversupply of diamonds.
But now, engagement ring sales are beginning to pick up again.
By the end of next spring, this temporary oversupply will be gone.
And diamond prices will start climbing like crazy.
If you ever wanted to own a big diamond, this is the year to do it.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
If you want to own a big diamond, the time is now.
We're back. This is The Upswing. We're talking car washes today. Just something I'm really interested in, and I'm always fascinated in talking to the experts that make it happen each and every day. So Mazen Muna is the owner of Metro Car Wash. Mazen, I'm guessing it's not just like turtle wax that you're using on cars to keep them clean. What are the products and what are the companies that are making these products? And is there any innovation in that space coming?
Sure. So we use different products for different applications, but we like to use a variety of companies, one of them being Cook Auto Supply out in Brookfield. They supply us with, I would say, 60% of our products, and the other products come from a company called Auto Beauty Supply. However, our waxes, polishes, and sealants come from Italy, and we use a company called Rupes.
Okay.
So there has been a lot of innovation in the last few years for car wash products.
Yeah.
There's products that take less time and work just as well as the old products, if not better. So it's about speed and efficiency
if I'm washing my car at home, I should be taking it to your place, or I should be, taking it through the local scrub-a-dub or whatever. But if I'm washing and cleaning leather and my tires, and especially for the fans out there listening, what do you recommend, and what products, and kind of what's that approach? And what do you use on your own car?
So leather and tires are two different things. Tires are obviously much more durable. So when you're washing down a tire, the first thing is cleaning the wheel and spraying the wheel down with a wheel acid or an iron remover to remove any iron from the brake dust is the first thing that you would do. Agitate it, scrub it with a brush, soft brush, or by hand with a wash mitt, for example. Rinse down the wheel, and then the tire, the best way to do it is using a degreaser, and then scrubbing it with a more firm brush. If you have white walls, there's something as simple as bleach white, which you spray on the white wall and then scrub it down with a brush.
Okay.
When it comes to leather, I'm seeing a lot more leather seats that become dyed with blue from people's blue jeans, especially if it's a beige or a lighter colored seat. And believe it or not, just using a very mild soap and water with Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, that works really well. But you have to be really careful. 1 or 2 passes, you don't want to go too much because you could remove the color from the leather itself. Okay. But the Magic Eraser works wonders in the detailing world.
Yeah, that is an amazing product. Like, I want to know how that was concepted, what's in it, because it seriously works on anything.
It's just foam.
Yeah, really?
It's a dense foam that somehow picks up everything along the way.
Wow. All right. Well, so I wanted to close. I often see you post photos of your family dinners that you make, and they look absolutely beautiful. I think I got to walk over and have dinner with Mason and his family.
You're welcome anytime.
All right, thank you. But how do you strike that balance of working day to day as an entrepreneur, juggling kid and family life? Like, give us some advice for the entrepreneurs out there.
As an entrepreneur, every day when you open your business, it should feel like your first day opening in the business. Reinvesting in the business, caring about the business is if you take care of the business will take care of you. And that's not just taking care of the facility, it's taking care of your internal customers, who are your staff, and your external customers, who are the people spending money with you. So that's the first thing for entrepreneurs. Get up every day and make a difference by, trying to feel like it's your first day no matter what. Getting lazy is the part that you have to avoid. When it comes to balancing work and family, realistically, for 30 or 40 minutes every night when I get home after we, settle down, sitting down at the dinner table with the kids and my wife is probably the most important 30 to 40 minutes in the day. And I make sure never to skip that. Even if I have more work to do in the office or whatever, I'll wait till the kids go back to their rooms to do homework or fall asleep, and then I stay up and, handle what I need to. But that 30 to 40 minutes is very important.
That's wonderful advice for any leader, any parent out there, for sure. So I want to make sure I have a Old National Bank talk and text line that just came in from the 262. How do you best clean film off the inside of the windshield? We'll end with this. I got about 30 seconds.
Okay, so ammonia is a great product for removing the film. It depends if the film is from smoke or if it's just from moisture or just day-to-day driving. Cleaning the window left to right, up and down with a damp microfiber, and then following that same method with a dry one is the best way to clean the windows. Because if you see a streak going up and down, then you know which way that you need to go back and clean it, or right to left. So
there you go. Expert tips from Mason Muna, car washer to the stars, our Milwaukee Bucks, and a whole lot more. We'll be right back on The Upswing.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me as we count down to the RNC in Milwaukee. We'll talk to the biggest names across the political landscape.
James Wigderson, a strong political writer, one of the best I've ever seen.
I think the election will look a lot more like 2020 than it did in 2016.
Full podcast available on WTMJ.com or text RNC to the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620 and get a link sent directly to you. It's the countdown to the RNC podcast, only here on WTMJ.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I